All right. I've spent a lot of time playing Air Hauler 2. I love it. It's fun. It's great, but it's always felt old. I don't know, from the 80s even to the new lipstick they put on it. But I kept thinking, boy, there's got to be something better. I spent good money on Air Hauler. Again, I still like it. It gives me purpose, right? When you play a Microsoft Flight Simulator, any kind of simulator, as fun as it is, sometimes you're like, I just need something more. What is an alternative? Is there an alternative? And it hit me. It hit me. I don't know how I tripped on it, and it's been a long time since I've seen this, but there's a great alternative. NeoFly. I absolutely love it. And the best part about it, it's free. Well, most of it's free. Right now, I'm still using the free version, which allows you to be a new pilot, and you go on a career. You start at the bottom, and you fly. You make money all sorts of different ways, much like Air Hauler. I haven't found any bugs yet. It's modern. It's new. It's fun. It's got all sorts of stuff going on here. Boy, look at this, from bush pilot, emergency, airline pilot. It's all sorts of 18 different types of missions. So if you go and do the cargo, you can have regular cargo flights. You can have flights that have express cargo. You'll have like the fragile or sensitive cargo. If you're landing too hard or pulling too many G's, you can break your cargo. Illegal cargo, you might have to land in the middle of nowhere, kind of like a little bush flight. Um, hazardous cargo. But then, of course, there's the passengers, regular passenger flights. There's VIP that go into certain destinations. You'll have the tourists where sometimes they just want to see the Statue of Liberty. You'll have to go around the Statue of Liberty a bunch of times and land back where you came from helicopter tours, advertising, fire. That you will actually have some of these emergency type flights. There's all sorts of cool stuff on here. Again, I'm using the free one, but there is, and I will upgrade just because there's too much good stuff on here, but I'm still just having fun just being a pilot. But you can go on and create your own airline. There's a really cool voice dispatcher. I got to tell you, I've heard this on a couple different YouTubes, and really cool. I don't know. It just adds more realism to what's going on, and the way it doesn't feel like an AI. The whole bundle, you're looking at €20, which is uh, under 21 bucks, I believe, American dollars, and it gives you everything, including the pilots, the airlines, the voice, really cool campaigns. The Cleopatra, I believe she's an archaeologist. You read through this, and she has to be at certain places at certain times, and you're basically flying her around, earning money. Lots of cool stuff. Easy peasy. Download it, double click it, install it, up and running. Really neat. Now, again, as opposed to the air hauler, for me, long in the tooth. There's a lot going on in the NeoFly, which is really neat. All right, when you bring up NeoFly, I've started a couple just simple ones here. I got my Papa Bear, my Groovy. You can just hit create new pilot. Again, this game mode is the career mode. There's other ones, employee mode, company mode. You have to buy, again, the €20 so you can create yourself an airline. But if you just go through a career mode, it steps through on which version you have, right? So you got to determine which version you have because it's got to know which planes you have available. So if you go to the premium, like I have, go next step, you can also select third party. So if you've purchased other third party planes, it'll actually find these within the new pilot constraints. Obviously, it's not going to give you a Learjet off the bat or something. So the 152, the Osmo, the VL3, the Flight Design CT, DV20, these are all excellent, but they'll give you right here, which is it's kind of cool because you can be flying passengers or cargo and how fast the plane can go. So you'll go through these, and I found myself DR4. I'm not a big fan of that son of a gun. Was it the Robin? I don't know. Just don't like that plane at all. I end up using the Pipistrel myself on one of my characters there. Excuse me, pilots, because it's got a great range, great speed. It can still handle a decent amount of weight. Overall, it just seemed like the best to really get started with. But you can helicopter. There are helicopter missions on here. You pick the plane you want. I actually have the Just Flight Warrior 2. Love that plane. So if I went next, it's going to ask me for a call sign and whatever my base of operations would be. That's right, brother man. Okay, that's fine. Miami? I don't know. We're just playing around here, right? Create your pilot. Bam, here we are. Starts off at $5,000. Career mode. Again, that's all I got. Click it. There we go. Now we're in. Now, all the navigation on the side, every time you click on one of these, unless you turn it off, it's going to give you a real nice description of what's going on and what you're looking at here. This is simply your jobs. Which jobs do you want to do? Remember those little different icons? You can actually sort by rewards, distance, how far do you have to fly. Early on, since your first missions here, you'll be able to only do a certain amount, right? Your plane's already limited to weight, but even the distance isn't that far. So you'll find yourself making kind of small money, even though you also have overhead costs of fuel and landing fees. And from here, you can see, is it a passenger? Is it cargo? And after you add it, you can really see, or actually click on it right here, it will actually tell you. Bring 727 pounds of mechanical parts to Fort Lauderdale. Sometimes you'll have some that have to be in a certain time limit, or if they're fragile, you got to watch out. Or if it's a passenger, I can only take one passenger. I believe that's what should be able to take 3. I didn't see the specs on this. Obviously, you got a certain amount of weight that you can use, but all of them are very short distance, which in the beginning is kind of cool because you could do a bunch of missions without spending hour and a half really going through this whole thing to make some money. And it also tracks your ranking, not only the money ranking. Again, you go down the side. Once you're actually in, you can see the background. I've got Microsoft Flight Simulator going. It'll know you're connected, and it'll start bringing, based on what airport you're at, a bunch of freelance jobs that can make you money, which is great and fun. It mixes things up. You have a hangar right now. The only thing I have on here, again, the tips. What's going on with the plane, how much fuel, 100, is it gallons or pounds? I forget here. Pounds, excuse me. So 100 pounds out of 288 total, so I can slide it up and purchase fuel right in here. It tells me if, obviously you're at certain points, if you're landing too hard or, certain repairs will be needed to the plane, how your engine's doing. That's going to give you all that here. And when you go and purchase a plane, sometimes you'll get them just not so great. Your missions lists, you can actually search for jobs, takes you back to the jobs here, what cargo you have on there. Flight manager, once you actually select, and you can select a bunch of jobs and then just do them one at a time. Or you can go back and forth and pick one at a time. They'll be listed here, what the job is, things you got to watch out for, weight, passengers, all that stuff. And this map, by the way, let me tell you one thing about this. When you install this, what you're going to want to do is go to, oops, this is the wrong one. What you want to go to is, it'll let you know too, is the Bing Maps portal and create yourself an account. Because once you create yourself an account, it'll give you one of those encrypted keys. Those encrypted keys you will install along with, let me just move this up a little bit. You'll install it with this NeoFly, and it'll allow you to see exactly this. So it's like you're on Bing Maps. And this is how it then overlays all the missions and everything else on Bing Maps. So you're dealing with a real satellite map. And of course, this is Florida. We got Miami down here, and this is our base of operations. And once you select a mission, it'll actually show you and map out your flight plan. Again, down the side over here, this is real fun too, and you can do something similar also in Air Hauler, where they'll show you a bunch of goods that you can actually pick up and load up in Miami right here. So it'll tell you quantity and what weight that you can actually fit on your plane, how many they have available to buy, and what the price is. And then you might say to yourself, well, you know what? What if I could buy something here, make some money, and go to Fort Lauderdale? Does Fort Lauderdale have? You can match up some of these, and it'll tell you right here, oh, by the way, fish. You can purchase fish at $21.34. Now, mind you, right now, early on, we've only got $5,000, but you can make a $600 profit. or magazines, $454 profit. You're going to be limited in how much you can carry, so you start multiplying what are the multiples of what I'm paying for at each of these that I can make some money. And you'll find, I've played with this back and forth, you'll find that it's close to what you're going to get on the missions, $3 to $5 grand on average. So there's no real shortcuts on making tons of money real fast, but it's just another fun thing to look at, and how much you want to load onto your plane, and then obviously sell when you get to where you're going. Marketplace, if you want to purchase another plane, again, it's going to be what airport. If you're looking for a specific plane, you can type in that also. But if you're looking at what airport right now Miami has for sale, you can sort by cost. The $3 million is a new. You can actually rent also, but when you rent, it also requires a deposit. So you have to have at least enough money for the deposit. So again, you can't just go from the Pipistrel or 152 straight up into a Cessna. You got to work your way up. It is kind of exponential. As you're making more money, you're going to get jobs that are worth more money. You're going to get a plane that can hold more, and you're going to find yourself making more and more, as opposed to, geez, it's going to take me 6 months. Your pilot, as I said, your character. You're going to find your experience going up. So not only do you get experience points, like 10 experience points on, let's say, one of these missions, these cargo jobs, but you do a better landing. You'll have certain things that'll pop up, say, hey, you're taking off without landing lights, or you didn't have your navigation beacon on before starting the plane to let people know. So you can actually get extra experience points for doing things properly, actually starting up the plane properly, doing things as you should, making calls. Your ranking obviously will go up. Right now as a cadet, you'll see, based on your experience points, getting a higher ranking. If you want to fly a different plane, you have to get a check flight on that plane. You'll get more and more qualifications. Like right now, as we're in a Class A, you can actually get 3 stars on the Class A. You can actually run through these and do your testing. All the way to, if you look right here, you'll have a dual prop, I believe it's turbo prop on here, a dual turbo prop. Then we actually get to Class E's, like the airlines, and on and on and on. Then you get the helicopters. So you can actually go through these and get certified in all these. You have your logs and all your trips, which is much like your profile on Microsoft Flight Simulator. Then the finances, of course, going through how much you're making, what are your costs as you're going through each of these jobs. And these are when, obviously, you get to the paid version, where you can actually have pilots, a lot like Air Hauler, where you can actually eventually have a fleet in an airline. Things I haven't really been able to play with yet. The campaigns, I would love to jump into these sooner rather than later. There's the Cleopatra, and they saw the pandemic one. Again, go buy it. But for me, I think this is it's just cool, only because as much as I love Flight Simulator, and I can really get into the ins and outs of taking off, landing, flight planning, following a proper approach or departure. But after a while, you just want something else. I guess you want more of that game experience. Give me some of the XP. Give me some money. I want to see me advance in something as I'm doing this that I love. So this is all a great tool. That's all part of it. Now in settings, I did see certain things I was reading about. Not only can you go through all the aircraft that you want to add on, like I said, Just Flight, I checked this off, so it'll be a part of NeoFly, so you can select it and purchase these planes because it's third party. It'll find it and allow you to select it. There's certain things like fuel sync that'll let you know, okay, this usually works, but sometimes you can have issues with this. You could find a lot of these things on the frequently asked questions also. Message boxes that you want to pop up. They did have something really cool on here that they suggest you also use. I can't remember if it was on here or somewhere else, which is Fly for Sim. Fly for Sim will allow you to control some of that in another little window, a module. Let me bring that up real quick because I forget exactly what that's at. Fly for Sim. It is right here. So you get a simulator toolbox and add-on that apparently is not coming up right now. Oh, here we go. So also another free download. A lot of people use this. Great tool within Microsoft Flight Simulator. Maybe I'll show you a quick, might be another video. I haven't done one of these in a long time. I'm just excited to show everybody this. You guys got to try it. If you haven't, and you either used Air Hauler 2, or didn't want to spend the money for Air Hauler, I got to tell you, this is just as good. And right now, I've only done, I don't know, half dozen missions, jobs, excuse me. It feels like I haven't touched the missions yet, but I am loving this. It feels just as good, if not better, than the Air Hauler. You guys got to try it. If you didn't, again, if you didn't want to spend the money on Air Hauler, you don't have to. This is where it's at. It really is. Try it out. All right, before I end the video, I'm just feeling I have to give you a quick little run through. So I'm going to create a pilot, new pilot here for career mode. I'm going to go to my premium edition. Next step, I'm going to pick my aircraft. Again, I mentioned the Pipistrel. I like that because 640 nautical miles. I can do a passenger, 505 pounds, in 120 miles. Awesome. Love it. Next, I can pick my character. There is a ton of them. I don't know, it was like 25 or 30 of them here, something like that. I don't know what I'm feeling. They're all kind of goofy and silly. Whatever. You know what? I am going to choose Island Boy. And not those two weirdos that do all the singing, just in general. Because I figure let's go down to the islands. TCNM, I believe it is. Or no, I believe it's TNCM. Princess Julian down in Martin, St. Martin, excuse me. So let's click on here. I'm going to jump in. All right, okay. So as I go through here, let's see, look at this. Like I mentioned, once you're in the flight sim, it'll give you all sorts of freelance jobs in here, which are pretty darn cool. Passengers, hazardous emergencies. Also, I haven't tried this yet. It looks really cool. Okay, I'm going to go to my hangar. Here's my plane. Going to go, I've got no missions, so let's go to jobs here real quick. And I'm going to say, hey, let's see if I can maximize my rewards. So if I sort by the highest, right off the bat, I can tell right here, it's just not enough remaining cargo. I can't carry it. It's just too heavy. I can't do that. So that's 330, 312. Look at the weight, still too much. 218. Definitely gonna do it. 218. It looks like it's taking me to NCE, which is down here. Or is that? Actually, that's a pretty decent sized airport. Easy peasy. There's St. Bart's, and everyone knows how difficult St. Bart's is. So, wow, I got a really loud plane in the background there. So if I do St. Bart's, I'm wondering St. Bart's, that's FFJ, is it on here? Look at this, TFFJ, and it only requires a cadet for such a difficult landing. Well, that's not very realistic. I believe you have to be a captain, if I'm not mistaken, in real life. Regardless, let me go back over here. If I go over here and look, this is standard cargo. I'm bringing 218 pounds of computers to FD Roosevelt in Orsted. It's 34 nautical miles. I get $3,300. Standard 10 XP, so only 218 pounds. This looks all good. All right, I'm liking it. Since I'm already here in the background, you see that it's running. I am going to add this. Add job added. Oh, there we go. Good morning. I'm assuming everyone can hear that. There's always someone talking to you, telling you what's going on. So loading has started. That's cool. And you can see right here, added, engine ready to start. I'm going to flip over to here. And here we are, St. Martin, Princess Julian Airport. Let me just jump into the plane real quick. I am going to watch this. If I do a Control E, just start everything up. on its own. And as it's starting, I didn't turn on the beacon or nav lights. Let me switch this over to GPS while GPS starts. And it sounds like everything's loaded up. I come back over here. It's going to tell me, look at this, beacon or strobes were off while running the engine because I didn't turn them on time. So you're not going to get the extra XP that you can build up by doing things properly. So you always want to do things properly as I'm switching on avionics and master and everything else. If I got a prime, starting the engines, make sure the beacon's on turn on first. Might as well turn on landing lights as I'm at it. Okay. So I am loaded, up, ready to go, ready to take off. So I just want to give you a quick little walkthrough of what that looks like. Also, the big three are the most important is, am I at the airport I'm supposed to be at? Yes, it's green, not red. Do I have the proper plane? Yep, it's not red. And I got to have at least 388 pounds. Well, I'm up at 466, so let me bring that down. No need to make it more difficult. That's good. Let's keep it like that. And if we want to obviously keep the realism going, is my fuel. Right now I'm 100 pounds. What do I really have on here? Definitely within that. If I come back to the hangar, I've got 100 pounds. Okay, so 100 here and 388, 391. I'm within the range to get all the extra XP and to make this as real as possible. So let me go through this real quick. I'll fast forward this whole thing just so you can see the landing and see what this looks like at the end, okay? Gives you a good idea. All right, we can hear the cargo getting unloaded. Flight time of 24 minutes. I've got a bonus because I was respected the actual aircraft stress. Payload realism, another bonus. As I was telling you about those things, um, qualification, because you gain stars towards the next qualification. Total flight XP, 32 on top of what you just said with the 10. How much fuel I used, and there we go right there. Oh, there's a 10 XP from the cargo delivery plus the total flight reward. Sorry, there's our $92 airport fees they told us up front. And I wanted to show you something else. So let me go down over here. I taxied very quickly on purpose so you could see you want to keep it under 30 knots. So that's another whammy against you along with the beacon lights. And usually it tells you here what your landing speed was and how smooth and how hard it was. And here's mine right here, smooth landing. That's a rough. I don't know if you could hear the lady tell me that it wasn't the easiest or smoothest. Using this pipistrel, I've had between 100 and 150. I've never had 189. Doesn't seem like a lot, but apparently it's a lot for here. So I only got a 3 XP bonus for that. But that's an example of what this looks like. So now if I go to my guy here, I can see 189, and you'll get a whole chart, and every single time you land, it'll be like a nice little line chart from landing, different mission types. You can see your rewards on how they either increase or decrease as you're going along. Fly time, fly distance. Nothing really see since it's only 1 point of measurement on here. Again, it'll also give you your logs. Log in there like you see on Flight Simulator. Just want to show everybody what this looks like. It just feels different. I know there's a lot of the same components you see in Air Hauler, but it's how do I quantify it? It's nicer. It feels smoother. Between the missions and all the other different freelance jobs that come up, I don't know. It's a great alternative. That's the title here. It's a great alternative. So if you're looking for something you don't have to pay for and you just want to go through a real career, this is great. This is fun. You can pick anything from islands to the mountains or Alaska or England. Go to Europe, have a good time. But from my opinion, I love it. This is my new tool. Air Hauler is going to be on the back burner, even though I've got hundreds of hours in there. I'm just having a lot of fun with this. So you know what? Give it a whirl. Kick the tires. I think you'll enjoy it. Thanks.